All right. You're listening to Idle Chatter with Average Jeff. Hey, we're back here talking to Chad and Blaine, part 2 of, I don't even know what to call this one. It's just a fun episode about rock and roll, so we'll call it Rock and Roll Memories Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. I don't know. So anyway, having a blast. You guys still with me there, Chad, Blaine? Say hi.
Hi. Hey,
Cool.
what's up?
All righty. Good to be back. So this is the first episode, kind of recap. I hope you listened to it and you liked it. We talked about what was your favorite sophomore album. We talked about if you ran out of TP, what album would you use to wipe your butt with? And Chad really tore me apart on that because he just turned the knife into my back and twisted and was like, oh, wow. But that's okay. I'm halfway into a bottle of Blue Sky wine, and I'm stocked up on other stuff, so I'm good. So anyway, then we talked about what our musical influences were. We found out that Blaine is starting to play guitar, and which is cool, really awesome. And there we are. We're kind of there. So, yeah, let's see. I got a couple questions, but what do you guys want to talk about? You got anything out there you want to say?
What was your question?
I had name some song that blew your mind when you first heard it.
A song that blew my mind when I first heard it.
Mm-hmm.
If I go back a ways, oh, wow. I don't know. I'm going to go with the first one. And Chad kind of knows this story because we talked about it on Growing Up Metal. I grew up, I had 2 older sisters, didn't listen to a lot of rock and roll, heard a lot of Kenny Rogers and Melissa Manchester and stuff. So the very first time I really heard rock and roll, other than say maybe Elton John or something, but I mean real rock and roll, was when I finally saved up enough money to buy my own first album, and I bought the Ace Frehley solo album, Kiss, whatever. So I brought it home. I had a little cheap-ass turntable, dropped the needle on the first song, which was Rip It Out. And that was really the first kind of hard rock thing I ever heard. So that really blew my mind and changed my life. There's been other ones through the years, but I'd say that one is probably the biggest as far as influences on me. Wow, I couldn't believe that, a guy in clown makeup could sound so cool. But no, I mean, it really did. I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, okay, this song's called Rip It Out. Is it going to suck? Is it going to be scary? Is it going to be, whatever? Just,
yeah.
It did. It changed my life. It really did. And it was awesome.
That's really cool.
So do you still have that album, Jeff?
The album? No. I traded a bunch of my Kiss albums for a BMX bicycle, and I regret that to the day. I have the album. I have the cassette. I have it on my phone, and it's still one of my go-tos.
Sure.
And out of the 4 Kiss solo albums, it is undoubtedly the best.
By head and shoulders above all the other ones.
It is, and I'm more a Paul Stanley guy in Kiss, but Ace's album is by far not only the best solo album, I think it's one of the best Kiss albums.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's a really good album.
As much as you like Kiss, a lot of their albums aren't great. They're good. There's a great. They got a great catalog. But if you go through every album, you may only pick 3 or 4 songs you like.
From each.
Yeah. And there's some exceptions, but you can't go, oh, well, what about Alive? Oh, okay, well, that's the greatest hits record. But
yeah, exactly. And now the bigger question is, do you still have the BMX bike?
No. I'm pretty sure I would flatten that now. Yeah. No, I don't have the BMX bike. So.
Oh, man.
Wow. That's a good question, Blaine. Hey, throw that shit at your dad, see what he says.
Okay. So this is going to shock you. My Sharona.
Really? Wow.
Yes. I remember I had that 45 and played. I'd listen to it.
Yeah.
And then it'd go all the way through, and then I'd listen to it again, and I'd listen to it again and again. And probably a second one fall up, because I remember how it was listening to this song, was Crazy Train when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
Both those, yeah. I listened to them both about the same time, so over and over again.
I know you and me were about the same age, and I know when Ace Frehley's album came out, 77 or 78, I was 8. I'm having a
Yeah.
hard time thinking about when My Sharona came out, and the same with Crazy Train. Was that
Yeah.
earlier?
So
76?
My Sharona is probably 78,
Okay.
79.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
were 8 or 9. What about Crazy Train? Same thing?
Crazy Train, I would have been about 12.
Okay, so later.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted the reference there because I wasn't sure when those came out. And My
Yeah.
Sharona. Go ahead.
Age
Sorry.
has a big thing. No, age has a big thing as far as, when you're young and you can just listen to things over and over again.
Yeah. So Blaine, what about you? What what was like what was the song that same with you?
One of the big songs that I was just like, wow, was "Pour Some Sugar on Me," which I mean, it's now, like, looking at it as a diehard Def Leppard fan, it's like really mainstream,
Right.
but I don't know. I think all, like, the harmonies and the vocals and the guitar and drums, I was just amazed at, like, how they can make a sound like that, because I don't think I've heard a song like that before, and that was a little bit before we went to go see them in concert, so that was something that was really big for me. So yeah.
I'm going to argue and say that was off Hysteria, and that is probably the best sounding album of all time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for that time.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Hysteria is the best sounding song I think ever recorded. I loved, that was a great album. I saw that tour.
Yes.
Saw it in Springfield. Tesla opened for him, and you can't give enough love to Tesla. Tesla was a great band, too, but...
Yeah, they are.
And back to Blaine's point, Pour Some Sugar on Me, that song is like, there was nothing. There was rock songs and stuff, and Def Leppard kind of had a sound, but when that came out, there was nothing like that. It was so original. It was just totally different from everything else on that album, totally different from everything else that came out.
Yep.
I know Kiss tried to cop that feel on Hot in the Shade. They did a song called Read My Body, and as much as I like Kiss... Oh, that song just blows.
I'm going to have to listen to it just so I can hear it.
Yeah, it's called Read My Body, and that's one of those albums that's got, like, it's the one that had Forever, which was a good song. It had Rise to it.
Yep.
Hide Your Heart.
Yep.
It's one of those Kiss albums that has 3 or 4 good songs, and the rest are garbage. But, Read My Body, I think, horrible. And just, it's like Paul Stanley's like, I got to write, pour some sugar on me. No, you don't.
Exactly.
No, I mean, Def Leppard didn't try to do Rock and Roll All Night, so that's one thing. Def Leppard didn't try to copy anybody, I don't think. I think the earlier stuff was maybe a little AC/DC influenced, but they weren't a copy band, I don't think.
No, they weren't.
Yeah.
They really weren't.
I'd say more bands copied off of them than anything.
Oh, Pyromania and Hysteria, so many bands took that as like, that's what we're going to do.
That's the blueprint. Yep.
Yeah, and they failed miserably. A lot of them did. But
yeah.
Let me ask you this, Blaine. Okay, so you guys have seen Def Leppard recently. I haven't seen them for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of bands that are going out way past their prime when they should be quitting. I'm not going to mention Dawkins' name, but Def Leppard, I've seen some recent stuff. I think those guys are still... Granted, Joe Elliott can't sing like he did 20 years ago, but, man, I think he's still doing a good job. What do you guys on that?
Yeah? I think they're doing really good. I think they're still doing great. And I know that when we went and saw him, he was having a little bit of trouble with something with his voice.
Yeah.
Because they had the cruise and they had to cancel it.
He had laryngitis.
Yeah,
on
laryngitis.
The cruise.
Oh, shit.
And so he was still, I think he was still recovering from that.
Wow.
I thought he sounded great.
But now, from videos that I've seen, I think he sounds even better than when we saw him.
Yeah.
So.
And their backup vocals are amazing. You can tell they really work on them.
They are. And it sucks we lost Steve Clark, but, man, Vivian Campbell, I like him better in Def Leppard than I did Dio. Or I know he's in Whitesnake for like 12 minutes or something, but No, but Def Leppard is just I know a lot of people are gonna mock them and stuff like they were typical 80s, but that's not their fault. And Def Leppard was just a great band. And still is a great band. So
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I agree.
Good pick on that. Okay, I got a question I wanted to ask. Excuse me, Chad. I know last time on the first Growing Up Metal podcast we talked about like a rock and roll album, but I was thinking recently you've seen these biopics. Queen has a biopic. Elton John has a biopic. Motley Crue had the biopic on Netflix, which I don't know if you saw it or not. It was pretty interesting. Yes. Did you guys both like the Motley Crue one? I'm sidetracking, but
that's actually what made Blaine start liking Motley Crue was the biopic.
Is it really? Wow,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. But as a dad, watching that first scene with the girl and the
squirting,
I was
you
like,
can say it.
Yeah. I'm like,
Horseface. Her name was Horseface in the book.
Now?
Yeah.
Was that who it was?
Yeah, and if I remember right, her name was like Horseface or something because I remember reading The Dirt and Tommy's like I didn't like her face, but she could squirt like 12 feet and
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a bonding moment from a dad and his son.
I understand. Were you afraid that like DCFS is just going to be pounding on your door?
I was looking out the window. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't say much because you've heard me talk about like, my son was 6 and he watched Evil Dead with me. So I'm a horrible parent. So all right, okay, so. Second part of the real part of this question before we got sidetracked by the Motley Crue biopic.
Yeah.
What hard rock band or what band who deserves the next biopic?
Okay, so man, that's a tough one. Because you have to think about a band that has story and like a history.
Yeah.
And it's interesting enough for people to want to watch. Because I mean, as much as we want
the rough cut one, but nobody else is going to want to watch that, right?
There's going to be 4 people watching that, you know.
Yeah. And it's going to be us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm thinking about story and just history of a band, I think the Leonard Skinner one would be an awesome one.
I never
do it right, kind of like Queen or even like the Dirt. I mean, the Dirt had some money behind it.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah. It did. That's a good. I never would have thought that because I really don't care for Leonard Skinner, but the story of the band and the and of
think
course,
of the story,
the tragedy in the plane. Yeah,
how they started, what they're doing now.
Yeah,
you know, how many people died that has been in the band. You know.
Yeah, and it was in a Guitar World magazine, and somebody did write a biography about that in that plane crash, and I guess one of them who survived the plane crash had a broken and. This is a long time ago. And didn't he walk for help with a broken hip or a broken leg or something? I mean, he was really, wow. I never thought of that. So, yeah. And even though I don't like the band, I mean, the resiliency of those members and what they went through and everything, kudos to those guys. So,
yeah.
Wow.
I think it'd be interesting.
That would be a good one. Blaine, you got any thoughts on this?
I had a few ideas.
Yeah.
I thought that an Aussie one would be really interesting.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of story you could put into there. I was thinking Van Halen would also be an interesting one, but it would have to depend on who made it because there's a lot of sides to the story on certain events and their history.
Yeah.
And I think Kiss, like after their end of the road tour, they're not gonna have any way to make money, so Gene Simmons is gonna pay someone to do a Kiss movie.
I'm sure he will. Yeah. Yeah. I've read a lot of the Kiss books and they're interesting, and if Gene Simmons has anything to do with it, it's gonna be about how Gene Simmons saved the world and started Kiss and
of course.
But if somebody outside could get in it, the Kiss would be a good one. I was thinking Van Halen too because, one, you're really talking the American dream because, the Van Halen brothers come over from the Netherlands. They're Dutch. They don't speak the language. They're immigrants,
Yep.
You know, starving to death, made their way through music, and then they meet this crazy dude named David Lee Roth, and somehow they made this band work, and, you know, great. I get it. Eddie Van Halen is arguably the greatest guitar player in the world, and Alex Van Halen is no slouch either. And David Lee Roth is just one of the most charismatic guys on the planet. And, man, there's so great stories there. The only way that wouldn't work is, who do you get to play David Lee Roth in that? You know?
That's true.
Because he is so charismatic. You know.
Yeah, I don't know who you would get, honestly.
Hopefully an unknown.
Yeah.
I don't,
kind of like on the Dirt, you know.
Yeah.
Unknown, except the drummer. Machine Gun Kelly was the only one.
I didn't even know who he was. My co-host T was like, "Yeah, it's Machine Gun Kelly," and she's got a crush on him. I'm like, "What? Who?" And she's like, is he a rapper or is he?
He's a rapper.
Okay.
I saw him on Ridiculousness. That's how I knew who he was.
And I'll tell you what, he was great as Tommy Lee.
He was.
The Mick Mars, I thought that's the one. But who do you get to play Mick Mars? That guy was like, he was a good actor, but I just, you know.
Yeah. He was from Game of Thrones.
I did not know. I've never seen Game of Thrones.
Oh, I figured you were a Game of Thrones fan.
Right? I know I should be. You know, I don't watch good TV though. So
some of it you do. Some you do.
Yeah. But what I liked about the biopic and reading the dirt and just things I've read is Mick Mars ran that band. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can say what you
like
want.
The mature one.
Oh, hell yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so those are some good answers. Man, I don't know. Anybody?
So
Let me hear you. What do you got, Chad?
So this is the one I came up with. So Desert Island. You know, everybody always talks about Desert Island stuff.
Okay.
So, but my Desert Island has a DVD player and a CD player. So you're able to actually have a few amenities on this thing.
Wow.
It's a little Gilligan's Island 2.0 type thing, you know.
So we have coconut cream pies. We use coconuts to power our radio, and we have a DVD player and a CD player.
Yes. And you have Mary Ann and Ginger too.
Okay. I got a follow-up question.
I know. Okay. So here's my question to you, Jeff Tate.
All right, go ahead.
Jeff.
Yeah, it's fine. But people know who I am. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I'm Queensryche's lead singer.
That's right.
I got to make money now that they booted me out of the band. Now go ahead.
So, Desert Island, 2-parter.
Okay.
3 movies. Now, keep in mind, this is the only 3 that you're ever going to get to see again. And 3 albums.
That ain't right. Oh, man. Oh. I don't know. I'm trying to, I turn my paper over and I'm trying to jot notes, and I'm glad now you can't see me because I'm sweating.
Well, you said you wanted questions for gut reaction.
Yeah, this is a gut reaction one. So, okay. I'll do this. I'm going to do the movie stuff first. So my favorite genres are obviously horror, action, and then, of course, comedy. I'm not the guy that's going to pick The Notebook. Horror movies. And I'm not kissing that Blaine's ass. I know you're a huge Michael Myers fan, as I am. I'm going to pick a Halloween movie. I don't know which one, though. I'll probably pick the original. There's some other horror movies, but since I only get to pick one. And as far as action movies, I like the action movies that make you feel something. And to me, a good movie is when you want to watch over and over again. Everyone can say all this artistic crap about, well, it needs to move you in this way or needs to do this. But no, a good movie is when you want to watch again, right? We can agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. What's one I put in? There's 2 movies that come to mind. 13 Hours. Stars John Krasinski. It's about the guys that were in I can't think of the name.
Yeah, it's a military.
Benghazi. They were the guys that helped defend Benghazi. And
I've never seen it.
It's really cool because you think John Halpert, the guy from The Office, that's like his first foray into that. Almost like Bruce Willis is going to be in an action movie called Die Hard. What? No, that's going to suck. But
Yeah.
13 Hours is a good movie. It's got some good choke up moments, and it's not a typical action movie.
Okay.
One movie I think I like better than that I watch more and more. I'm going to pick Warrior.
Yes.
With Tom Hardy and Joel, is it Edgerton? Edgerton?
Uh-huh.
Is that the one you're thinking of?
And Nick Nolte?
Yes, is the father. I love that film.
Yes.
That's just,
Yes.
I could watch that over and over, and I tear up a little bit. There's some just good moments in it.
That's an amazing pick.
Thank you. I figured I was the only person that ever saw that. Okay, so
I
movies.
have it on Blu-ray.
I think I have it on DVD, but I've watched it quite a few. So I'm going to go Halloween, The Warrior, and then comedy. Oh, man, what makes me laugh all the time? I don't know. I don't know. Right off the top of my head, I'm going to say Hall Pass because, one, I don't know if you know this, I have a huge crush on Jenna Fisher, and it shows her a lot, and it's a funny movie. It's got Owen Wilson and Jason Sudeikis, I believe. And
yep, and Daryl from The Office is in it, right?
I'm not sure if he's in that one or not.
No, he's not in that one. I'm thinking of Hot Tub Time Machine.
That's a funny movie, too. So I'll pick those three. Okay.
That's good. That was good.
Yeah, that was tough. That was gut-wrenching. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
You thought I was going to pick, like, Wrestling with Shadows, the Bret Hart story or something, which now I want to change my mind. No, I'm kidding.
Jake the Snake or
Jake
what's the Jake the Snake documentary?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. I've seen that, too.
Yeah.
I've seen the Chris Benoit ones and stuff. So albums? And 3 albums.
Yep, 3 albums.
Oh, you're an ass. 3 albums. Only the 3. I'm gonna pick this one. Me and my wife and I sent you a text about it. And I don't know the name of the album, but it's the latest Volbeat album. And that's a band I was like, I ain't whatever. And then I heard a song called Last Day Under the Sun, and I just love that. And then I got the album, and I think it's called Repeat Rewind something.
Yep.
But it's the newest Volbeat album. I love that album. Yep. My wife actually likes that album. She's more a country gal, but I'm going to pick that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm going to pick Fair Warning, Van Halen. I haven't heard that one forever, but that's
it.
Yeah. Shit. I'm going to pick Bon Jovi because Bon Jovi makes me happy, and when you're sad, you need a Bon Jovi. No, I'm serious, but like if you're in a bad mood and you listen to Someday I'll Be Saturday Night, and that's going to help pick you up, but I don't know what Bon Jovi, and they don't make good albums anymore.
Would you go through like a greatest hits? Or
I don't want to do greatest hits because that's a cop-out. How about Keep the Faith? I'll say Bon Jovi, Keep the Faith. They were still Bon Jovi, they were still poppy, but they were kind of getting out a little bit.
Yep.
I'm going to say that, so.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's tough. I can tell that you're sweating over there.
I got the food sweats. I'm never going to suggest to you beforehand, hey, just come up with an off-the-wall question to so we're not just everything's all rehearsed and let's do this.
Exactly.
And then,
had to make you think, right?
You really did. That put me on the spot, but wow. I know a little bit more about myself. So
there you go.
There you
That's
go.
What we're here for.
All right, well, let me okay, you guys, let's hear somebody else on this.
I want to hear yours.
You want to hear mine?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so Chad, let's hear yours. Okay.
Number 1, Forrest Gump.
Wow. Soundtrack? Or is this your movie?
This is my movie.
Okay.
Forrest Gump. Number 2, Inglourious Bastards.
I've never seen that.
Okay. So I haven't watched 13. And you haven't seen Inglourious Bastards, so I'll watch 13. You watch Inglourious Bastards.
You'll watch 13 hours?
13 hours. 13 hours, yes.
I'll watch Inglourious Bastards because I do that's a Quentin Tarantino, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I predict you'll love it. And then my third one would be... So if you're so if we're going for funny... I'm going to go with Old School.
That's a classic.
Yeah, I love that one. That one makes me laugh every time.
Streaking. You know the story about how, like, after I lost my job and I was going to go to school, which I dropped out. I don't have the teacher in me. But yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, one of my friends, Brad's like, we're going to start a fraternity, right? And I'm like, yeah, damn right, we're going to start a fraternity.
That's awesome.
A 50-year-old, I'm like, yeah, we're going to do it old school. Hey, Blue, I believe in you and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so now your albums.
Okay, my albums. This is going to be harder.
Okay. That's what she said.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So this is kind of a cop-out, but I don't care. It's my album, and I'm taking it to the island and playing it on my CD player in the desert.
That's right.
Strangers of the Night, UFO. It's a live album, but it's the greatest live album of all time. Just barely not edging out Budokan, of course.
Strangers in the Night?
Yes, UFO.
I think I have that. And you're right. Is it got Shoot Shoot? And
of course.
Yeah. I was in a band that played Shoot Shoot live.
Oh, I know. I know you are. And I love that song.
Yeah.
I'm
not going to argue with you. I've heard so many people say that is arguably the best live album ever done. So
yeah,
kudos to that.
Okay, second one. So many overplayed songs on it, but hey, you don't have a bad song on it. Back in Black.
You're right about that. And you're on a desert island. Skip over Back in Black and Shook Me All Night Long.
Shook Me All Night Long. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But you're right. God, that's a great album.
The last one. That's tough. I would probably go with The Cult Electric.
Really? Okay.
Yes. Because it's kind of an AC/DC album, but yet it's still The Cult.
Electric, what is that? I don't know much about The Cult.
Love Removal Machine. You've heard that song.
Yeah, it's not the one that has Firewoman then.
No, it's one before that.
Okay. And I think people talk about that actually being a better album.
That was a bigger album.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean the one you picked is a better album. The one after that had Firewoman is probably maybe more a breakthrough, but is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good too. Of course.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's my as Blaine says, it's good enough to be on my wall. I still need to have you when all this is over, Jeff. You're coming down.
Okay.
To the basement, and you'll
I want to, and you need to see my office / man cave. It's all Blaine would probably like it more than you would. It's all horror movie and
of course
some wrestling stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. My gun safe for the apocalypse, which has like a knife and a couple bottles of water, and
It's really not a gun safe. It's just a safe.
Yeah, it's real impressive until you open it up and it's got, you're really prepared for this.
Hey, but I got this knife and this water.
Yeah. Hold on a minute, you fuckers. What's my combo again? Doot, doot, doot. And then the knife's locked up in another case, and I got a bottle of water that, who took the cap on this? Or whatever. So. All right.
Okay, Blaine.
Yeah, Blaine. Okay. Let me hear this. I want to hear this.
All right. I'm going to do movies first.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the comedy. I probably have to say Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched it so many times, and I'm still not tired of it. So that's a good sign that it'll work on a deserted island.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with my favorite Halloween movie, which is not, a very popular opinion, but my favorite Halloween movie is Halloween 2.
I figured. I can't wait till you and me get to talk about that. And by I'm sorry. Halloween 2 is in the one that the original came out in 1980.
Yes.
Where they're in a hospital, not the Rob Zombie Halloween 2.
No, not the Rob Zombie one. No. I'm not a big fan of the Rob Zombie ones.
Can I want to interrupt, tell you a story. So just, man, I can't wait till me and Blaine talked a while back. Well, we didn't. Me and your dad, he tried to broker this. I said, you were a big fan of Halloween. I love Halloween. And I said, maybe someday you and me should do a podcast just about the movies. And I'd love to do that. But
yeah,
that Halloween 2, the hot tub scene, even to this day, there's times I skip through that. I'm like, yep, not going to watch that.
It's very disturbing.
It is.
I mean, even though it was in the 80s, it was still pretty. Yeah.
And in horror movies, drowning is one of my biggest fears. So a lot of times when that happens, I'm like, nope, skipping through that. I can handle all the other shit. But
I don't blame you.
Yeah. But damn, that's a good pick. I don't want to interrupt you anymore. I just wanted to give you a shout out for that because that is a great pick.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome.
Okay, I have my third one, which would be Star Wars: Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
Very good.
That's my favorite Star Wars movie, so I'll bring that.
Cool.
So now I'm going to go to the albums section.
Okay.
Which I'm going to have a mix of everything on this one, because I'm going to get tired of one genre, and then I'm going to have to move on to the other one for a while. So, I bring Shout at the Devil.
Oh.
I would also bring I think I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's REO Speedwagon.
High Infidelity?
No, not High Infidelity.
Oh,
Good Fun. I think it's
yes.
I think it's called Good Fun or something like that.
It's the one that you got the album on.
Yeah. And then the third one. Oh, well, I would have to have my favorite Def Leppard, which would be it's tough because I have top two. Either Pyromania.
You have to pick. It's only three. You've only got so much room on this island.
Okay, I bring Pyromania too.
I think overall Pyromania was probably a better album, but that's a tough pick, man.
It's tough.
You can't give them. You can't give them both.
Could have said The Vault. Could have said The Story So Far.
None of that.
That's a cop out when you take the greatest hits, though. That's what girls do. You know.
It's the easy way out.
Yeah. Pick an album. I always try to tell my daughter will be like, just get the greatest hits. I'm like, I don't like greatest hits. I won't listen to the whole album, but I don't. I just, try to sound cooler than I am. But
of course, yeah.
Wow.
I like albums. I like the entire album.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to listen to the whole album because I'm going to hear the whole story of the band, and I want it in the order they put it in. And
exactly.
Yeah. And to an extent, that's right. But that shit's dying out because nobody's making albums. I mean, some people are, but,
Only our attention spans from when we were born in the 70s can handle that.
I don't know.
What I mean?
Blaine just picked the REO Speedwagon thing, so there's an old soul right there. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, wow.
That's true.
That is cool.
You got anything else, Jeff?
I don't know. I think I've bared my whole soul to you. I think you know more about me than, I got a couple other questions I got, and, well, Blaine, what do you got? Did you come up with a question?
He had it first.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm three-quarters.
The song
that blew our minds. Okay. And then you came up with three-quarters into this bottle of wine, and then the fact that I had to bare my soul about,
right. Your movies.
Yeah, my movies. And now I'm like second guessing it. And after we're done with this, I'm going to call you guys at 3 a.m. I changed my mind. So, I'll tell you what, I will check out Inglourious Bastards. I don't know why I never watched it.
I don't either.
It was on my radar. It was one of them films I did want to watch. And man, I love Quentin Tarantino. I like more his horror movie stuff, like From Dusk Till Dawn. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yes. Of course.
God, that movie's just crazy.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Not in Mexico, it's Hollywood.
No. His first one of the first one.
He did. He had one. Yeah, he had one called Once a Time in Mexico, and then his
Banderas.
Yeah, but his new one, I haven't seen the new one, Once a Time in Hollywood. Is it good?
Amazing.
Really good.
Is it? Okay. Cool.
Yes.
I've been watching just a lot of crap on I don't want to say crap, but just lower budget things.
Yeah.
I watched the new Rob Zombie. I don't know, the third one, Three from Hell, and I don't know if you saw that.
No,
Uh,
not worth it.
I should have quit. Yeah, it's I don't know. Let me ask you this, Blaine. Not getting too much into the Halloween. What did you think of Rob Zombie's remakes?
I don't really like them.
Okay, that's
I mean,
that's
I
fair.
liked how the ending was different.
Right.
How he had his spin on that. I thought that was cool.
Okay.
But the way he portrayed Michael Myers, I didn't really like.
What, like 9 feet tall, 300 pounds?
Yes.
Yeah. The guy that played
that,
Sabretooth in the X-Men movie? Yeah, that was kind of bullshit.
Oh, Liv Schreiber?
Yeah, I can't think of the dude's name. I can't think of it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I want Blaine. I want to tell you this story, and this is going to embarrass your dad. So years ago, we're playing in a band and stuff. And Chad, you're not a great big horror movie fan, right? I mean, you like some of them, but you're not.
I like some, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
I remember we were playing and just kind of we were at practice or whatever we were talking, and you and me hang out some and stuff, and but mainly band friends and everything. But I remember talking about that movie, the new Halloween coming out, the Rob Zombie version, and I knew it was going to be like just bloody and brutal and not probably great. But I remember saying something like, "I'm gonna go watch," and you like, I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go check it out. No, I'm not gonna take my son, and I'm just gonna go." And you were like, "I'll go with you." Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
And I was like, "Really?" And you're like, I don't want you to have to go see a movie by yourself." And I'm like,
oh, that does sound like me.
and I was like, "I'm cool." I used to do that in high school because I had a few friends that would watch horror movies, but a lot of times we'd work different things. My good friend Brad would watch movies with me, and I'd watch some, but he worked this shift, I did this and everything. But so a lot of times I just go watch those by myself. But I remember you offered to go watch Halloween with me, and I was thinking, you're probably not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it, but I just have to see it in a theater. And yeah.
Did we go?
No, I went by myself. So I spared you that.
I was a little scared because I was like, my God, I can't believe I'd go to a movie theater to see something that I don't remember going. That'd be pretty bad.
The funny thing is I saw it in the Avon Theater, which is downtown Decatur. Shout out to those guys. It's a great theater, but it's also supposedly haunted, right? And
yeah, supposedly it is.
When I saw it, it was like, I don't know, a week after it started, because I don't like to go to crowded theaters. I'm in that theater watching this brutal, horrible horror movie. There's maybe 3 other people, and if you've ever been into this Avon, it's not a big multiplex. It's an old theater, supposedly really haunted. The curtains off to the side in front of the exit door are just waving back and forth, and I'm more terrified of what's off maybe happening in the haunted theater than the movie. I was like, holy shit. That was bad.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So probably better than the movie. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question here. So, just think of one of your favorite bands, and what album would you play to somebody that's never heard of that band? Like, if you were going to try to impress me with this band that I've never heard of, what's the album you're going to play to be like, this is what you need to hear to get you on board, I guess?
So, does it have to be a band that you don't know, or?
No, just pretend I don't know. I mean, I know you're a big Motorhead, I'm sorry. And I know I've heard of Motorhead, but what's the album you're going to be like, this is what's going to get you to really like them, or that,
Sure. Okay. Let me see. I would probably say, if I said I'll go with Motorhead.
Okay. And I wasn't trying to steer you there. But...
No, that's good. That's a good one. Because that's one of my favorite bands too. I would say listen to Ace of Spades.
I didn't know Ace of Spades was. I do know that's an album. Are they dressed like the Three Amigos or something?
Yep.
Oh, yep. Okay. What else is on that album? Just go through it with me.
So it's got like Chase is Better Than the Catch. We Are the Road Crews on there.
Okay.
You probably songs that you hadn't heard, but I think if you listen to it, I think you'd like.
Okay, so Ace of Spades is the album you would play for me to try to get me on board.
Yes.
Okay, good pick. How about you, Blaine?
I already said it, but
That's fine.
But Pyromania for Def Leppard, I would say would be the one that I would recommend to people because most people have heard like Photograph and some of the other popular songs on there.
Yeah,
Rock of Ages. So, but I think the whole album has really good songs on there.
that's a great album.
Die Hard, The Hunter, Stage Fright. I really like that album, so I think a lot of people would too.
My favorite song on Pyromania is "Coming Under Fire."
Oh yeah,
I don't know why that's one of those songs. I know you and me talked about this once, Chad. About you get the goosebumps, and even though Photograph's a great song, obviously, but "Coming Under Fire" was just
And it hasn't been played to death, so that makes it even better for you.
True. And like you said, Stage Fright or what's the first song on there? Hold on to your heart, hold on to your something. Rock till you drop.
Yeah, Rock.
Is that the first one?
I thought Stage Fright.
Maybe Stage Fright is. Yeah, but those two songs are just great.
So what's your album, Jeff? Or a band?
Oh shit! I had it in my head. Now I forgot because I'm thinking this David Lee Roth stuff. Oh shit! I'm not gonna say Extreme because you're gonna make fun of me and call me a puss.
I won't.
No. I'm not even gonna pick. I'm not gonna pick.
I need to be more inclusive.
No, it's. I'll tell you what. I don't know. My 5 favorite bands. I'm gonna say Soul Asylum. And I'm going to say Grave Dancers Union. You know, to people that are like, especially in the 90s era where everybody was big on, you know, the big bands, Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and all that. And I didn't care for any of those. I know I was kind of weird in that. I didn't like Nirvana. I didn't like Pearl Jam. I didn't like Soundgarden. I didn't like, what's the other one? The Lane Stanley, Alice in Chains. I didn't, I mean, I respect anybody that's in a band and does what they do to an extent.
But it just wasn't your thing.
It wasn't. But Soul Asylum really was. And to people that were like, well, what did Soul Asylum do other than Runaway Train? Which, by the way, Grave Dancers Union has Runaway Train. But that album is just such a good album. That's when they kind of went from the just punk crap they were doing 10 albums before. And that album broke them, and it's probably one of my go-tos. And now I want to change my mind, and I don't know what I told you on my desert island, but I want to take Soul Asylum, Grave Dancers Union.
Oh, so you're gonna change that one out? Okay.
Yeah, I'm backpedaling. Yeah, that's a lateral. Is that a football term?
A lateral, yes.
Okay,
very good.
I didn't know.
Very good, Jeff. Yeah.
All right. So,
well, we actually need to wrap up our quarantine.
Okay.
What's the word I'm looking for? Our
podcast
warden, the quarantine warden.
Okay. Can I ask one? Okay. Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
Okay. Axl Rose versus Vince Neil. Who wins? Remember back in the 80s? Let me set it up. Axl Rose, Vince Neil, they hate each other. Vince Neil punched out Izzy Stradlin, blah, blah, blah. Axl Rose said a bunch of shit on MTV. Vince Neil goes on MTV and challenges Axl Rose to a fight. Axl Rose versus Vince Neil. Who wins that fight?
Blaine.
I'm going to say Vince Neil probably.
Kudos to you.
I think that because Axl's kind of a scrawny dude, and I think later in the 80s, Vince was bigger than him, so I think you could probably beat him up.
Gotcha.
I'm going to have to go with Axl just because of the crazy factor. He seems like the type of person, if he's not dead, he's just going to keep coming after you.
Okay. So am I the tie? I don't want to be the tiebreaker.
So you would be the.
I'm the tiebreaker. I'm going to say Vince too because just at the time, I remember Axl being so big for his britches, and they were the biggest thing in the world. And
that is true.
Kurt Loder being on MTV, being like, "Oh, Axl," and Axl was kind of scrawny, and you saw some of those fights where he jumped into the crowd, and he just threw these horrible punches that just landed on whoever. And I think Vince Neil could take a punch to the face.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
You always hear that. You know, who's going to win the fight is the guy that can take the punch to the face first. Probably. I mean, I don't know. I've never been in fights, but I'm gonna say Vince Neil on that one. But
that's good. That's you made a good argument.
I don't know about that, but anyway. So you guys want to wrap it up, huh?
Yeah. Until next time.
Honestly, this has been so much fun. So I want to thank Chad. I want to thank Blaine. This has been great. So once again,
thanks for having us, Jeff.
I so appreciate it. I'm going to get us out of here. Been listening to Idle Chatter with Average Jeff. Check me out on Twitter, Idle Chat Podcast. Facebook, you can check me out on Idle Chatter with Average Jeff. You can always go to averagejeff.net and read all my funny blogs. You can check out these podcasts on Podbean. I'm going to try to get these two uploaded as soon as possible. And once I can figure out all this technology crap, I'm going to try to get my YouTube channel going. So anyway, promotional consideration for this episode, Vandalay Industries for all your latex importing, exporting needs. So anyway, hey, I got to pay the bills somehow, so I got to give a shout out to those guys. But anyway, so much fun with you guys. I just want to say thank you again.
Yes, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Say goodnight, guys.
Night.
Okay, bye.